I'm a bit late to the party on this, but I saw Alien Romulus last night, and it surpassed my expectations in every possible way. I'll be completely honest with you guys, when I saw the trailer for this movie a few months ago, I thought it was just another cash grab on a franchise that had done everything it could. And you know how you turn to your friend after a bad trailer in the movie theater, and you say that you're so hyped and that you have to see that in an ironic way? I did that with Romulus, but I have to admit it, the movie is actually good. Especially by horror franchise standards, where most newer movies are destined to be trash. Spoilers ahead, but if you clicked on this video, you've already seen the movie, so let's get into it. On the base level as a movie, Alien Romulus is a beautifully shot film, and I love the world building we get in this movie, and how it's able to incorporate lore, while also functioning as a standalone movie. This movie is also unlike most horror movies that get more dull as they go on, but the exact opposite happens to Romulus, where the closing act is easily the most memorable in the movie. This film does a great job of subverting your expectations by playing off tropes and what you expect to happen in a horror movie. A great example is with Kay, who is pregnant. We expect her to be one of the last survivors, since a horror movie would never kill a pregnant woman, right? But then not too long into the movie, we see her die, or at least we think she is dead. After some time, it turns out that she is alive, and so we think to ourselves, okay, Romulus did a fake out, but now it's back to what I thought was originally going to happen, with her being one of the remaining survivors. But then Romulus doubles down and gives her the most brutal fate of the bunch. That's probably the best example of our expectations being played with, but there are others, and I love how Romulus follows the Alien formula for the most part, but adds in enough new elements to make it feel fresh. Of course, the Offspring is probably the standout of the movie, and this was the first time in a long time that a horror movie actually gave me the creeps, but we'll talk more about him later. Let's just return to the first 2/3 of the movie for now. With most horror movie franchises, we get kinda tired of the same stuff over and over again. There is only so many times you can watch Michael Myers or Leatherface do their thing, and the shtick gets old. Especially after studios milk so many movies from these horror franchises. I won't lie to you, I have become kinda desensitized with the Xenomorph, and I think most of you have too. Don't get me wrong, it is a cool ass design, but we've basically seen everything it has to offer. So how would Romulus make itself captivating with a worn out monster? Well, what makes Romulus so good for those first 2 acts is the genuine drama and suspense we experience as the audience. The characters have emotions that are heavily justified and that we can relate to. The film gives us information that the characters don't know, and this keeps us on the edge of our seat wondering what's gonna happen. The characters don't make stupid choices that would take us out of the immersion, and their choices are actually rational from their perspectives, and they don't feel forced. Their conflicting motives are also genuine, and they actually make sense. For a good chunk of this movie, it's actually Andy who is the scariest part of Romulus, at least for me. We get those good old-fashioned sequences with the Xenomorph as well, which is nice to see from time to time, but the drama is what drives this movie forward and what keeps you captivated. There are some basic horror movie techniques, like jump scares that you would expect to see, but this movie's scariest moments come from scenes where it's not a jump scare. Like the Xenomorph coming out of Navarro, the cold attitude of Andy as he tries to protect Rain, and then eventually tries to salvage what he can for the company, and of course, the Offspring coming out of Kay. Romulus has elements of the horror formula we know, but it also has some new tricks up its sleeve, and this is where we get to the Offspring. The ending act of Romulus was the scariest part for me, and it plays off the original Alien formula, but adds enough new flavor for it to not feel like a blatant ripoff. We get something straight out of Rosemary's Baby with this human Xeno-engineer hybrid, and this thing is terrifying. I love the way the movie takes its time to reveal this creature. And this is the main liberty that Alien has as a franchise that other horror franchises lack, and that is the ability to naturally build on the world instead of just repeating what we already know. I said it before, but there are only so many times we can watch Ghostface or Jason Voorhees before it gets old. But the Alien franchise is a completely different world that engages with sci-fi, and it has the ability to add new creatures seamlessly, and other horror franchises can't do this. Could you imagine if they added a new killer to Halloween who is even bigger and scarier than Michael Myers? It wouldn't work, since Michael is meant to be the standout of that franchise. However, the same is not true for Alien. Yes, the xenomorphs are the staple monster, but it never feels wrong if an Alien movie gives us a scarier creature different from the xenomorphs, like they have done in the past with the Engineer and now the Offspring. This is because the Alien movies are in a completely different dystopian setting, and so they have a lot more room to expand the universe, whereas other horror franchises lack this expandability. The two main takeaways as to why Romulus works in the opening 2 acts are driven by good writing and drama that gets us invested despite all of us having seen the xenomorphs before. And the finishing move of Romulus is that it gives us something new and something that distinguishes this film. I loved Romulus, and boy am I happy that I was initially wrong about this movie and thinking it would be trash. It looks like Alien Romulus did the impossible and gave us a new horror franchise movie that's actually good. But that is enough yapping from me. Let me know your thoughts over Alien Romulus in the comments below, and how do you think other franchises can reinvent themselves to have good future additions? Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.